Hey, what's up, people? This is your boy, Shenanigator J. We are back. Our therapy session, our randomly scheduled therapy session, which is the Absolute Zero podcast. I am Shenanigator J, and my tag team partner. Go right ahead.
Unqualified gamer.
Yes.
Boo ramen.
Yep, we are back. Our randomly scheduled, as I said, therapy session, because yes, this is therapeutic. I
It
don't do
is.
this for the views. I don't do this. I honestly don't do this for the views. We don't do this for the views at all. We don't care if one people or 1,000 people listen. This is just our therapeutic to rant and rave and to talk about all the things that kind of made us mad over the short period in time
Yeah.
or annoyed us at some point. But we have a really good recording today. Really good recording
A
today.
lot of stuff happened within like the new
A lot of
year.
stuff happened. A lot of stuff happened between now and our last recording that we had. So a lot of stuff happened in the news. A lot of stuff happened in the news and uh, funny stuff, and then other stuff that kind of annoyed us.
Yeah.
For sure, most definitely. Well, one thing that just happened, a couple days is Apollo Creed, man.
Yeah.
Apollo Creed. Apollo Creed passed away, man, and the internet. So with what's his actual name?
Carl Weathers.
Carl, Carl Weathers. Carl Weathers. I forget. I'm sorry.
No, that's
Carl
good.
Weathers. So some people might know him as Apollo Creed. Other
Yep.
others might know him from
From Happy
what's the
Gilmore.
Happy Gilmore. That
Yep.
Adam Sandler
Yo,
show.
that scene now just hits. It hits different, man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because like his character in Happy Gilmore, he dies, but then like you know, Adam Sandler's character kind of connects with him like in a spiritual realm type of thing. But that scene now, when Adam Sandler's character is going through a hard time, and you have the character giving him a little bit of a pep talk, like hey,
Hmm.
everything is all right, I'm not in pain, I'm cool. Seeing that scene now, man, it just hits differently, man.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's definitely different. Definitely. But like I said, man, it's insane. It's crazy. Oh, he also did. I didn't know this that he did the voice of Combat Carl in Toy Story.
Yeah, yeah, he did.
Didn't know that.
Yeah,
Yeah, didn't know that.
yeah.
Wow,
No, he
man.
did. He played in a lot of things that a lot like we kind of look over. You know,
No, yeah.
they played in a lot of things that we looked over.
Action
Like I said,
Jackson. Yeah, Action Jackson.
he played in the Mandalorian. You know,
Yeah.
he played in the Mandalorian. So it's look, Carl Weathers, man, a legend, man, a legend, man.
Oh
Very
yeah,
phenomenal
definitely.
actor, man, phenomenal.
Yep. Yep. I think he could have been a real life wrestler too. He could have been in wrestling if he
Oh
wanted to.
yeah, oh yeah,
So
and
apparently he played
also,
pro football. So apparently he played pro
yeah,
football. He
he
played for the
played.
Raiders.
Yep, he did,
He
and
played for the
also,
LA Raiders.
he also played in Predator, the first Predator. That's when Arnold Schwarzenegger he was like, hey, you son of a bitch, and they did that, and they do that
Oh, okay,
handshake. That
yeah, yep,
yeah,
yep. The
yep,
infamous muscle,
the infamous
muscle
muscle.
man. It's not really just a shake. It's more just like
Nah,
a, it's
yeah,
like a mid air arm wrestling
exactly.
thing. It's like a test of
A
strength
test of
and
strength.
testosterone.
You son of a bitch. you
And then you hold it, and then you gotta hold it, and then
you
it's
gotta
like a
hold it.
mini. Then it's like a mini struggle too on top of it. It's like
A mini
yeah,
explosion, if you
yeah,
will.
but it's like a mini arm wrestling just to see, a little friendly test of strength there, a little bit,
Like,
between Arnold and Carl,
matter of fact, hold on, wait a minute. I'm about the Predator.
Yeah, wait. So if you go and if you could play that the little excerpt, if you will. Like I said,
Yeah,
this is
Dylan. That was
actually
his name. His name was Dylan. He's like Dylan.
Dylan.
You
That's
you
right.
son of a bitch.
So those who know what I'm talking about, that's an iconic gesture.
Hold on, I'm about to get it set up here for you guys.
Oh yeah, yeah, do that, man. Living in America, going to town, going to town, going to town. You know, infamous Rocky movies.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Rocky
Most
One,
definitely.
Rocky Two,
All
Rocky
right,
One,
all right.
Rocky Two, and Rocky
About to
Four.
set it up. About to set it up. Here we go. Here we go. About to set it up.
All right.
Dylan! You son of a bitch.
Look
Oh,
at that. Fantastic scene.
CIA.
Fantastic scene. One of my favorites, man.
No,
One
that's
of
good.
my favorites, man.
No, yeah,
Fantastic.
that's solid. That's
Dylan.
a solid.
Dylan, you son of a bitch. But yeah,
Classic,
Carl
classic.
Weathers, man.
Carl
Hats off
Weathers.
to you, man. You
That's right,
know,
man.
rest in paradise, man.
Yep.
Man, you know,
Rest in peace, Carl Weathers in 1948 to 2024, and sorely missed. Sorely missed.
yes, you will be sorely missed, man. You came. You have plenty of iconic movies and iconic scenes out there. You know, so
Oh
you
yeah,
got
that'll
you know
continue to live on. Yep.
give my flowers, man, to the man himself, man. To, to the
That'll
legend.
continue to live on.
Yep, continue to live on, man.
Yep.
You know,
Yep. So those are the things. Like I said, that's one thing that recently happened that we had to acknowledge because
yes,
we consider ourselves pretty decent movie buffs.
yeah. Well,
Here
speaking
at Absolute Zero.
yeah, well, speaking of movies, this has been a really like December, January, and even coming up February has been a very dry movie. Like talk about theater movies wise, like
Well, well,
nothing.
well, here's the thing.
You
It
know.
also hasn't been. They also haven't been in the movie theaters very long. Now, given my schedule over the last few months, man, checked it. So I didn't have enough
Yeah,
time to go to the movies like I wanted to.
but to be
But
honest, I've been checking though. Like with
but I
us,
wanted to see. Like I said, I wanted to see the Von Erichs movie, the wrestling
yeah.
movie
Well, that's
about the
still
Von
in there.
Erichs.
The
It's still out. It's still out.
that is still in theater because
Okay.
I've been checking the listings, theater listings, to see
Okay.
what movies go. The Iron Claw is still in theaters. Um,
Oh, Iron Claw. Okay, yeah, Iron Claw. That's what it's called.
Actually,
All right.
well, I mean, it's only playing
Well, well,
at
well,
Cherry Hill, but still, the Iron Claw is still a thing. But I think the only movie that I really,
yeah, but it's heavily diminished. It's not playing. And I didn't
yeah,
expect it to break box office records. I mean, for those hardcore wrestling fans, and I'm a big wrestling fan who understands, knows the old school of wrestling, like me. I'm a big fan of that.
now,
Getting to the Von Erich family, yeah. So that's
yeah,
what I wanted to,
yeah. But
you
currently, I'm
know.
looking through the listings now, and there's really nothing out. Like, I mean, you got the Beekeeper, the new Jason
Oh yeah,
Statham movie.
yeah,
You
yeah.
have that. But other than that, though, you have the remake of Mean Girls, which is kind of like, well, yeah, is that a remake?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
the
like,
remake, yeah, remake of Mean
yeah.
Girls. They're doing a remake of
I
Mean
forgot.
Girls.
I even forgot Aquaman was out. I forgot that movie came out in December. Uh,
Well,
it's great.
Aquaman is. I mean,
Yeah.
people. To be honest with you, Aquaman is
Well, that's it's
kind of
not. See, here's the thing. It's not. I don't think with Aquaman it's not because of Aquaman himself. It's because of who's in it. If you
yeah.
know, you know. That's all I'm gonna leave it off at.
Well, yeah,
Uh,
that's it. Yeah, if you know, you know. Yep.
Wonka. You had Wonka, which was another holiday movie that's still
Yeah.
lingering in theaters, but it's quite surprising because normally with movies like this, it will be in for like maybe like a few weeks and then skate on off. Because the last movie that me and you saw in theaters was Thanksgiving, which by the way,
Yeah. No, that was actually pretty
fantastic,
good. That was
fantastic
good.
movie.
That was good. That was good
Exactly
for
what
what it
we
was.
asked for out
It
of
was
that.
good for what it was. It was
Yeah.
good for what it was. It was good for what it was. Speaking of movies, I didn't know this. Now, what do you think of this? So before we get into the other stuff, uh, Snoopy. There's a movie called Snoopy Presents Welcome Home, Franklin.
Wait,
So
what?
Franklin gets his own spin-off movie.
Franklin
Now
getting
this
his
is
own
on.
spin-off movies for the
Now I don't know.
Peanuts?
Now I don't know if this is true or not. I got this off of a source on Instagram. Uh, Black Film Allies,
Mm-hmm.
and they posted something. This was posted yesterday, actually. So I think there's a movie. They moved Franklin. Uh, Franklin's gonna have his own movie. Franklin, if you don't know, Franklin of the Peanuts.
It's the only black character in the Peanuts.
He gets his own. The only black character, and that's a big thing because
Yeah.
didn't the owner or the creator
Yes,
had to
Charles
fight to
Charles
keep
did
him
did
on?
fight to keep him on. In fact, the infamous scene that you see floating around online around every Thanksgiving, where they try to paint the Peanuts as being racist because they had Franklin sitting by himself while all the other kids sat on the other side of the table, right? But
Yeah,
see, context is everything, and the fact that, like I said, I'm not like I said, for me, I love cartoons. I am a cartoon aficionado. Like I absolutely love the classic cartoons. In fact, I am still waiting. I'm keeping track on the Betty Boop uh Broadway performance, because if you get a chance to see the um the little snippets that they have for that Broadway performance, it is fantastic, man. Like the actors they have to play Betty Boop, which they casted a black woman to play Betty Boop, which is very synonymous because she is the Betty Boop, the character itself is inspired by a black artist from back in that time, back in the 30s.
yeah,
So, I mean, having a black woman being casted to play Betty Boop in the Broadway stage play is phenomenal. I highly, like I said, when it's supposed to release this year, so I'm waiting on that though. But getting back to the Peanuts thing and me being a cartoon aficionado, uh,
hmm
the context behind that Thanksgiving scene is that Charles, the creator of the Peanuts, fought to even have Franklin even on there, because at first they was like, no, we ain't having no black kid on a Thanksgiving special,
hmm
and he
No,
fought
like yeah.
to get
Oh
at
yeah,
least
yeah.
get him on there. So it's like,
So I just sent this.
yeah,
So I just sent this to you. So I just sent it to you on Instagram. So when you get a chance, check it out. And it has a trailer. So the actual trailer is, I think this is the actual trailer or what they call it, preview.
or a teaser.
It might not teaser, if you will. Sorry. And it's actually, I think it's going to be on Apple TV Plus. So I don't think it's like in the
Oh,
movie theater.
that's right. Okay, yeah,
It's going to be on
because
Apple TV Plus.
Apple has a contract with Peanuts. Yeah, Apple has a contract with Peanuts, so that's why you're going to get like
Okay.
mostly all the Peanut content is going to be with Apple, so you have to get Apple TV in order to see it. And that's the sad part about it, because they're so enclosed.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, no, it's so enclosed. I mean, I absolutely would like want to see it. I'm about
And I want to see it. I do want to see it, but I don't have Apple TV,
yeah.
and I really want to. I don't want to purchase it. I'm pretty sure. Hopefully, it can be on other platforms at some point. But that's
Uh,
something that I was really shocked, but I'm also glad that it's happening, and I would like to, hopefully they'll make it
oh yeah, so
available
they
on.
announced it yesterday. This is like one day old. Well, let's give it a look. Let's go ahead and get this
Yeah.
get
Yep.
this
So
trailer a look.
give it a look. Give it
You
a look.
want me to share it to the Discord so you can see it too?
Yeah, yeah. Just share that.
When I do that,
And then after we talk about this, we'll talk about another movie that uh
alright,
I think
can you
drastically
see it?
underwhelmed. Yeah.
You can see it. Okay, cool.
Yep.
Let me go ahead.
Yep. So I can see it.
All right, let's go ahead and check this out.
Hi, I'm
All
Franklin.
right.
I've lived in a lot of different places. My family is always on the move. This was it, our new town. Do you want to have... Excuse me. Making new friends can be hard. I'm Franklin Armstrong. My name is Charlie Brown. The big soapbox derby race is coming to town. The winning team gets a trophy and free pizza for a whole year. What do you think, Charlie Brown? Partners? Partners. Hey, Franklin, what kind of music do you like? The godfather of soul, James Brown. You're not related, are you? I don't believe so. My grandpa always says you gotta want it to get it. Let's see what we can really do. Friendships are not perfect, but we can get through the rough spots together. A best friend is someone that you can totally trust. That always has your back.
Hey, Franklin, we saved you a seat over here.
You know you found your home.
Ah.
You're surrounded by good friends.
So you saw what they did there.
Yeah.
They
Alright.
well no they
Yeah.
corrected.
Yeah.
They tried to
They corrected something that yeah.
and I can commend them for that.
Yeah.
All right,
Like,
I like that. I
yeah,
like that.
it's-
So I like that.
So, like I said, very wholesome.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, also a little tidbit of information. They're actually using kids for the voice because they did that with the original Peanuts. They actually used kids to do the voices for the characters, so that keeps it. It keeps it like it keeps it at sort of like an innocence in there, which I like. You know, and the one thing I like about Peanuts cartoons, even in today's era, is the fact they keep the core of what a child is. They didn't really have to place in like into a modern setting. It's like this is the core of what a child like is. The innocence, you know. But sometimes, you know, society rubs off on a child, so they act according to society, but not the natural way of how a child would act. So I like how they sort of make it into a prequel of like this is how Franklin was introduced within the neighborhood, sort of say. You know, I like that idea. And also, like I said, that last scene with here we saved you a seat over here because he sat on the other side with from the other kid. It's like, you know, it's acknowledging that yes, this happened, but you know, we're going to correct
That wasn't. Yeah, we're going to correct it. It was
We're
a
gonna correct
product
that.
of its time.
And that's like I said, that's
It
the
was
one
a
thing that
product of its
irritates
time.
me. Yeah, that's the one thing that
Yeah.
irritates me about sort of like the way how the internet is run, because we have the internet has so much information, but yet so many people don't want to actually gain, like don't want to search for that information, so they allow people to just say whatever they want. So people don't actually do the background. So I can't stand it when people who
have
don't
endless-
watch
there's an
cartoons.
there's an endless platform now where everybody has a voice.
Yeah, everybody has a voice, and
Yeah.
there's no credit to what they're saying because, like I said, with the whole Thanksgiving thing, you got people just showing like, oh, see, the Peanuts was racist because they had Franklin sitting by himself, but you don't watch
Without
cartoons.
understanding-
You don't
Without understanding the whole.
without understanding the context
I don't think
behind
it's
it.
just not watching cartoons. Not just it's just not understanding the context of things.
Well, no, I would call it like it is. No, it's also
Well, yeah.
people like not watching
Well, yeah, people
cartoons
don't watch
either.
cartoons, but
You
it's
know,
also
yeah.
this road this goes that goes into a much deeper thing about not people not going into context and not understanding the complete context or a whole story behind something. That
Yeah.
goes well beyond that. But like I said, I think it's on Apple TV. Get a chance.
Yeah,
If I get a chance to watch it, I will watch it. But like I said,
when it's released.
yeah, but big shout out to that Instagram page, Black Film Allies.
Yeah. I
They have a
definitely
lot
got.
of
I gotta.
lot of,
I
lot of
gotta
good
figure.
yeah,
Yeah.
lot of good information. So now
Now
we're
there's
getting
another
into that.
film.
So now let's talk about the film that which is we're talking. Well, I'm going back to
Yeah.
since you talked about how the movies in the last few months have been so underwhelming. Here's another one that a lot of people find surprisingly underwhelming. I mean, it's kind of polar. It's a polar. Uh, it has polarizing views. I'll put it this way. The Color Purple. I think The Color Purple was extremely underwhelming as far as what the box office, compared the box office thing.
Yeah.
Box office number. It didn't do. I don't think it did the numbers that it probably would like to have done. It's a remake from the original. I think that was made in, yeah, 84.
Was 84?
I think it was 84, 84, 83. It was something like that. Yeah, I think it was 84, 83. Um, but it's this one. The new one is more of a musical. So this one was more of a musical.
I think it came out
But
in
it's under
85.
85. Okay.
85. Yeah. The Color
All right,
Purple. The
1985.
original.
Steven Spielberg directed the original. I think he have a hand in the new one too.
I think so. Let me check.
I think he had a hand in the new one. But anyway, it had extreme polarizing views. So a lot of people, there's some people that remembers the original and was like, "Oh yeah, I got to go see it." And then there's another people that seen the original and was like, "I don't want to see the new one." Uh, and the reason why, here's a source that I was reading on an article from a source.
Yeah, still
From a
Steven Spielberg did
Okay,
yeah, so Oprah,
but
Oprah, Steven Spielberg, Scott Sanders, and Quincy Jones um
okay,
were producers.
okay, all right. And I think it extremely underwhelmed, even though they had pretty good cast and crew. If you go down to the cast and crew, yeah, they had a really good cast and crew. You just scroll back up. You just missed it right there. There we go.
Okay, there you
Yeah, scroll down. I can't see their names.
go.
Danielle Brooks, Taraji P Henson, uh, what was it? Coleman,
Yeah,
Coleman Domingo, Corey
Corey
Hawkins. Her was a music star, and I
Haley
think the
Bailey.
breakout and Haley Bailey, the breakout star. You know, so they had a good cast. They had a good cast. It was more of a musical, and Fantasia. Did Fantasia play in it? Yeah,
Mm,
Fantasia was also. Yeah, Fantasia was also in it too.
yeah, yeah,
Yep.
Fantasia's in it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, she's one of the main characters actually. Yeah, David Allen Greer. They had a
Oh yeah,
huge
they
cast.
they got a really good, yeah, David on agree. Uh,
Louis Gossett Jr.,
Dion Cole.
Dion Cole.
Wow, they had a they like I said,
They had a huge cast.
they had a
For
good
it to
all
flop,
star cast.
for it to be underwhelming. So here's the thing: I found a very interesting thing right here uh from a news article, and it said the reason why The Color Purple flopped is because nobody wanted a remake of The Color Purple, and the reason why is, and this is from this news article, it said it said that uh the majority of people don't like trauma movies anymore.
Yeah,
There was no reason why The Color Purple needed to be remade. And that was somebody who did an article on, and that was the reason why. And I mean, that's not my reason. That was the article. This is the article that was
I
read
mean,
on
I'm gonna
why
be
they think
real.
that it flopped.
I mean, I'm gonna be real. Um,
Hmm.
talk about a personal view. The reason why I didn't like reach out and really go out and see the movie because I agree with that statement.
Yeah,
I'm tired of
yeah,
trauma films. When it comes down
yeah,
to a black person in America and especially in the cinema world, I'm tired of the trauma.
yeah.
Like it just doesn't interest me. I mean,
No,
the whole
yeah.
abuse and all the traumatization. Like, I mean, I'm wanting, like I said, so far, Jordan Peele, when it comes down to his, like, regardless what you think of him, um,
Oh, wait a minute. Before you get
yeah,
into that,
go ahead, yeah,
I also want to make an omission. So I think that The Color Purple, this one, is not necessarily a remake. So it's a film adaptation of the Broadway musical
of the
that
Broadway
came out in
musical.
2005.
Okay,
So this is not all right. So I would like to omit this. This is not a remake of the 1985 movie. The
Gotcha.
new the new Color Purple 2020 that came out in 2023 Christmas Day is not a remake from the 1985 movie. It's a it's a film adapt. It's what it was. It was a film adaptation of the Broadway musical that came out in 2005.
Okay.
So there was the Color Purple musical did come out in 2005 because I kind of remember this. I
Hmm.
kind of remember this because I think what one of the late great Paul Mooney made a joke when they said everything is good when you put it on ice. So you know because he was talking about
Yeah.
Color Purple on ice because it's on stage and it's a movie and put it on ice. So that's how I think I do remember around that time the Color Purple being on Broadway. So it's a film adaptation of the 2005 movie, not the 2005 movie, 2005 Broadway play,
Broadway
not
play.
the 1985 movie. But still, I think a lot of people are tired of trauma movies.
Yeah.
No, I think so. I think a lot of people are tired of trauma movies.
No, yeah, no, I
Because
agree.
I think, and here's the thing. So I think what it is, it's kind of a slippery slope because a lot of people don't like trauma movies, but yet a lot of those same people are obsessed with reality show television, which is full of trauma.
Yeah.
But I think it's how they perceive it. So they don't perceive reality shows as the
Trauma.
trauma because that's how they visualize it, or how they perceive it, or how they experience it. You see what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
like the Color Purple, Mister beat Sealy and raped and all that stuff. There was connotations of that of abuse, physical abuse, emotional abuse,
Yeah.
sexual abuse, so all of that combat in the one. Yeah, but when you physically see it in a movie like that, some people, not saying me, some people look at reality shows and they're just doing the same thing. They're yelling, cursing, and fighting in public places and doing all that stuff. But they don't see that. Some people don't even see it because in their mind, that's not what it looks like.
Yeah.
That's not in their
Hold up.
minds.
I'll be
That's not
right
what
back.
it. That's not what it looks like. Yeah. So that's not what it looks like. So, like I said, I didn't realize that it was a 2005 adaptation of the actual. Matter of fact, let's take a look and see uh, what that was like. The stage play back in 2005. So let me look up. Wait a minute. Color Purple stage play. Okay, so it was originally came out December of 2005. It was a musical by Marsha Norman, and let's see. Oh no, the show is closed now. Obviously, it's closed because it's been out almost 20 years since it's been on Broadway. Um, but I think that honestly, I think that the stuff that happened off cameras ended up being more exciting than the actual movie. People were more drawn to between the the uh, the drama between Taraji P Henson and Oprah.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
people
Yeah.
are. I mean, social
People are
media,
more drawn
social
towards
media,
that than the movie itself.
social media drew more towards that than the actual. I'm serious than the actual movie
Yeah.
because that right there is the pinnacle of reality show television.
It
You had
is.
so many people instead of diving into the actual movie because people didn't like that trauma, but yet at the same time they would break down a photo op. See, look at this woman right here, and look how she's coming in, and look at that body language, look, she like she's about to cry, and all that stuff, and they would just break this stuff down. It's like, yo, they're breaking down actual photo ops and thinking about what they perceive as how they see it, you know. And I'm like, well, hold on. How can you say that you don't like trauma or you're tired of trauma, but at the same time, that's what you're entertained by. I mean, it's not the trauma that you say that it's not the trauma that what it is, but it's a form of trauma. When two people have a disagreement or whatever it is, like I said, we don't know because they
Mhm.
publicly never said that there was a issue between the two. Have it? At least I didn't hear anything.
Not publicly. The only thing
Exactly.
I
So,
heard
so
was
that
like
means
pretty much the same thing that like what's earlier this summer, when the strike was going on. It's something similar to that. Like something, at least that's way how I interpreted it.
but that's how
It
we're doing. We're just
yeah
interpreting stuff,
yeah
but at the same time, we don't know. So
yeah we don't know yeah
we're doing all these there's this pseudo. So you got a lot of people on social media doing pseudoscience and pseudo evaluations on body language and this, that, and the third because they're entertained by drama.
yeah
People are more entertained by drama, and at the same time, they're like, "Oh, we don't want to see it." So what happens? I think what it is, they don't want to outright see it.
no
So they don't want to outright see in a movie like or a rendition like Color Purple, where the man beats up on the woman, and
yeah
abuses her physically on camera. People don't want to see that. But at the same time, on the other end, they'll rather see two individuals fight in a restaurant and throw glass at each other and all that stuff.
yeah
Or get into a social media beef online and start verbally trashing each other, you know, for whatever reason, whether it be the music industry or whatever industry there may be, you know. And then that kind of segues into our next thing about
hold up real
drama.
hold up before
Go
before
ahead.
we get into the drama. I just found out that they did drop the trailer for Squid Games season 2.
Okay.
They did a look on
Okay.
a trailer for the next season for the Squid
All
Game.
right.
So
All right.
that's coming
All
out
right. But
later on
before we
this
get,
year. But go ahead, go
all right,
ahead. I
yeah,
just wanted to mention that though. I just wanted to mention it.
yeah, that's cool. Okay. Yeah. Squid Games season 2. I might be on that, people. I did.
No, 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 no. Not the game show.
Oh,
It's
not the game show.
no
Oh, you talking
no
about the actual?
the
Okay, all
actual
right,
yeah
the actual thing. Okay, all right.
yeah
Because the game show was actually pretty good. I,
game
I honestly, I was joking.
yeah.
I would not participate in any of it.
I would,
I don't, I don't know about
but
you.
that was entertaining. Like reality
No, it was
TV, yes,
entertaining. It was
reality
entertaining
TV, entertaining. I'm glad
because
that
that's a form of reality TV,
yeah,
and that was entertaining. So that
yeah,
was entertaining. Uh, but I wouldn't. I
no,
wouldn't. I wouldn't participate in that at
no,
all
no, I
because
wouldn't.
because
And
because
like
it, as you can see, it just brings out.
it brings out the worst in people. It really do. Like
Yeah,
yeah,
it does
it
bring out
really,
the
really
worst.
kind of do bring out the worst in people. And if you
Yep.
don't like I said, let's
Yeah, it brings out the
there's
worst.
some character that people really didn't like, and I'm like, all right, like I listen. I draw the line because I'm like, listen, it ain't really that serious because ain't nobody die. One, and
Yeah.
two, it's a game show. Like, you know what I mean? It's a game show. Like, yes, you
Yeah,
could
but
be hype
a
about
lot,
it.
but a lot of people were banking on that money
I mean, a lot of
to to,
people,
to, to
a
solve
lot
to
of
solve
people.
their problems, and that's another issue all in itself.
That's another issue all in itself. What I'm talking about is viewership, not the people competing in it, but I'm talking the actual viewership. People were
Right.
actually there were some people that was actually mad, like really, really mad at certain characters, and then going online like kind of like throwing out threats and all that kind of stuff like that. And it's like, oh, chill out. It's a game show. Like
Okay,
you know
all right.
it's all right. It's all right to be upset at somebody like in a game show, but it's like to go beyond because your character got eliminated because of somebody else's hijinks. Yeah, I think you're going. You know, it's that disconnect. type of thing. It's
I
like
mean,
chill out, you
that's
know.
the climate. That's the climate that we we're at right now. Is overreacting
Yeah.
and completely engulfing
There-
ourselves in fantasy
it's
instead of
like wrestling.
reality.
It's sort of like when you go to a wrestling match and it's like you got people that
No,
take
it's
it like,
different.
no,
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
no,
Well,
no, 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 no,
what
no.
you
It's
talking about the
something
marks?
similar.
All right,
Cause just like, yeah,
that's fine. You're
it's
talking
something
about the
similar.
marks. Yeah, yeah. You're
It's,
talking about the marks. I
it's
thought that's
still
what you were talking
wrestling,
about.
damn
Yeah.
it! like it's not like I mean, even though
But yeah, but
he
it's
was
similar.
pulling out his art,
You're
but
talking about equivalent to people
yeah,
that run into the ring,
yeah.
which doesn't really happen anymore now, but it used to back in the day.
Yeah,
And
no,
people
don't
used to
run,
they
don't
used
run
to
into the
get
ring.
I, now people get engulfed, but it's a different involvement
Yeah,
now. People know it's a work. They just try to get exposure and get stuff on television. Whereas
yeah.
back in the
Well,
day,
they try
people
to
used
get
to
clout.
really
That's it.
yeah.
It's
Now,
clout.
yeah,
Now,
now they do it
now
for
it's clout
clout. But
chasing.
back in the day, they used to go and they
They
used to
really
really
felt
think
it.
this stuff was real. So they would really go to the shows or to the wrestling matches with weapons and things like that, to try to
It's still,
hurt the bad guy.
still real to
And
me.
that's
Damn it.
yeah, yeah, yep. But that's the climate that we live in now, where people just get engulfed in their own little world, in their own little bubble, in fantasy, and not reality. And that segues right into our next thing, which is social media restaurant reviews.
Yes. Social media restaurant,
Social
which is
media restaurant. Now, there's a lot of good. No, there's a
yeah.
lot of good. Reputed. We're not going to mention their names because you already know who they are. They're very good.
Hmm.
And I watch them. It's a few of them, and I respect their reviews. I respect their honesty, and I respect everything about them. And they try to do. And these are black. So these are black restaurant reviewers. So
Hmm.
they try to frequent uh, black restaurants in the local parts of whatever city they're in,
Hmm.
you know, and they give their honest opinion. And some you read the reviews and comments, some is good, but people they want honesty. People want to be real until real happens, and then they don't want it
What
anymore.
happened? Yeah.
So you could get into it as well, qualified, but you could
Yeah.
yeah, you could get
So
into this a lot more because there was one particular thing. But
there's
go
one
ahead, yeah.
there's one particular incident that just recently happened that's been blowing up, and information is actually still unfolding. So with everything I'm going to say, all of this is just information that I came across, and is all like I said. I'm gonna call like it is, allegedly.
Hmm.
I'm gonna say allegedly, because at this point you don't know until the act happens though. But I did find out recently that the food reviewer, and I'm just gonna drop his name because pretty much it's kind of wide open news now. Keith Lee did respond. Now, if you don't know who Keith Lee is, follow him on like pretty much any social media because the man he's the most. It's funny how he's the most unproblematic content creator on social media, but yet problems is always trying to get in his way. But the man is a man of God. Like on a literal sense, he is a man of God. He goes by the word. He's not two-faced. Everything he's do is not it's not just like from a clout perspective. It's like, listen, I am blessed to be in a position to where people listen to me and I can actually help people out. You know, it's the same sense of like because the way how he started, like he was Keith Lee, he was a boxer,
Hmm.
and like I said, he wasn't a failed boxer because he was adequate at what he do, and anybody who probably go up and challenge him, I don't do that because the man is a boxer, like. May not be the most famous of all boxers, but guess what? He can still, he can still, he can still, he still keep up. You see what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
challenge him
I mean,
in that
he
sense.
retired boxer because
Yeah,
most boxers that's just professional
yeah, That is a professional
Sports in
thing.
general,
But
the careers are never
yeah,
that long to begin with.
but thing about it is he started doing just mini food reviews around his from around his local area, and people just started listening to him and talking, and like listen to what he said because he was honest with it, and like I said, just like, and I would say majority of online food reviewers, I'm gonna give their props because I honestly think that, like, beforehand, before the internet, when you had professional food reviewers, and it's like they had like that stance of like, oh well, I got the palate of this, and let me tell you something. Listen, regular average person don't have refined palates like 5-star cuisine type of thing, right? So that's why I kind of
I mean,
like
but
the
the
atmosphere.
reality is most people don't
Yeah,
have
that's
5-star palates.
that's what I
Yeah,
said. Yeah, that's what I said.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
like I said, thing about it is your average person don't have a 5-star palate, right?
No,
You
no,
know,
because
so
look at the regular everyday person's not going to Michelin star
no,
restaurants on a regular basis.
no, we're not. So this is the reason why I do like the climate of these online food reviewers and foodies, because it does brings an honest view to what's going on. Now, what I like about Keith Lee and other people is the fact that they say, "Hey, this is my opinion.
Yeah. So
This
like I
is
said,
my
let's
opinion."
talk. All right. So let's talk about it. Like I said,
Yeah,
because they both, I like both of these, and I'm gonna say
yeah,
the other one. The other one's Mr. Chime Time. He's
yeah,
great, but they're both they give their honest opinion, but in different ways.
yeah.
Whereas
The deliveries are different. Both.
the
Yeah,
delivery is different, where a lot of people might not like Chime. A lot
yeah,
of people might not like Chime because of delivery. Me personally, I enjoy it. I enjoy his content.
yeah.
And I think
He,
he gives his
yeah.
honest. I think he gives his honest opinion, and he always says at the end,
Go
"Go
check
try
them
this
out.
place out.
Go try this
Go
place
check
out.
the,
Yeah.
go check them out." He never trash. I mean, he never tells people not to go. That's his experience. And if
You
he
might
likes
get
it,
a
he likes
different.
it. And if
Yeah.
you
You
don't. You, but you might have a different
you
opinion.
might
But he
have a
always says.
different experience. Exactly.
But he says anyway. Go try this place out.
Yep. Even if he gives the place a 0, he do say, because I watched enough of his videos to say,
Yeah,
he'll
and
say,
he's
listen,
giving his fair
this
share of
place
zeros.
is a 0, but go try this place out. Like, he'll tell you to go try this place out. Now, the Keith Lee thing, like the Keith Lee delivery is a lot more softer. It's a lot more gentle,
Yeah, yeah.
and like I said, again, I'm not saying Chime Time isn't humble, but Keith Lee has he does have that humbling, like,
I mean, you
atmosphere.
could
And the
be
thing, yeah,
it's just a delivery. That's
yeah,
all.
it's just
It's
a
just a
delivery. Yeah,
delivery.
no, I'm saying
They're
that's a
both
delivery. And the thing
humble in their
about it,
opinions.
yeah,
Yeah.
they're both humble in their opinions. Now, and I think there's a lot of people that look at Keith Lee and they try to challenge him because of his demeanor. He has a very laid back demeanor,
Yeah,
you
it's
know.
just a demeanor. Yeah.
And I think a lot of people try to challenge him. Now, what happened? Right, what happened in this instant is the fact that he goes to a restaurant that's in Texas. It's supposedly north of Dallas, and he visits this food truck, and he gives this food truck the owner money to basically, like, okay, $2,000 is for you, the other $2,000 is for your helper, and it's for her brother who was cutting hair outside, like, in the area. And he gave it extra money, like $900 or so, um for customers, like, hey, give them free meals, right?
Hmm.
Paying, like, basically a pay it forward type of thing. Well, apparently the owner pocketed the money. The owner was like, didn't disperse the money as Keith Lee, basically insisted, and she only let 3 people get free meals until she started charging people again. So essentially, just taking the money and blocking her blessings. Um, Keith Lee did come out because I guess the owner of that restaurant's son was trying to defend her actions, but it just didn't seem right.
Made it look worse.
It made it
He just
look
made it all
worse.
look worse. Yeah.
And the owner gets on live, and she said she's still standing 10 toes, saying
Oh
she
yeah.
done nothing
Foot
wrong,
and mouth. Yeah.
whatever.
Foot and mouth.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this. Um, what she's going through right now is exactly what she deserves. Like, it's the call. It's the consequences of blocking your blessings and doing what you're doing, right? That's what it is. It's only going to hurt her in the long run, and that's all it is to it. Now, people did review bomb her establishment after hearing about this, which I don't, please don't do that. And I'm gonna say, and the reason why I say don't do that, because it, trust me, is not worth doing. It's not something that Keith Lee would have want, because that's not the type of person he is. He's not a vengeful person, and that's that vengeful tactic. But that is the bee sting, sort of say, of the internet, because the internet don't is not forgiving. The
Well, the
internet is
internet's
not
very
forgiving.
unforgiving.
The
Yeah.
internet is not forgiving. Like I said, I ain't mad at it, but I ain't glad at it either. You see what I'm saying?
Hmm.
I ain't mad at it, but I ain't glad at it. I don't wish for anybody's downfall, even if you try to con somebody. But this is your consequence behind this, and hopefully, this woman and her family in the truck, hopefully they break out of that mindset and reset and work on themselves.
Yeah.
I hope they realize what they did was wrong, and they can be forgiven, and they can move on and better themselves. But knowing how some people are and how vengeful some people can be and cold as some people can be, they could be stuck
Oh yeah.
in that spot, which kind of moves into um experiences within, like, in this, I'm just talking from a sense of just black restaurants as a whole, not as an individual, but I do see a lot of black owned restaurants being run by people that are just not good.
Yeah.
Like, they,
Well,
either you run across,
let's get
yeah,
well. Let's get into that.
yeah,
Let's
yeah,
get into the. Let's talk about Chime. So
yeah,
Chime recently, uh, I say about a month ago or so, uh, did a review somewhere up north. Uh, I guess somewhere up north, like in the Michigan area,
mm-hmm,
and he went to this restaurant and he gave his honest opinion, on the food. But I don't even think he ever got the food for this one because the whole infrastructure of the actual business was flawed. And then when he called them out on it, they tried to once they found out who he was, and they tried to clean it up.
mm-hmm,
They tried to clean it up, but at that point it was too little, too late. So, not going to give the name of the restaurant or anything. But actually, like I said, it's all on social media, so it's public, you know. But he gave a statement, and then the other place gave a statement, and we'll talk about that when it comes to names of an establishment and the name that you give your establishment. That kind of plays a role too into how on how the spirit of your place is going to be. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? So pretty much, he said he went to this place and well, he tried to call first. So he tried to call. So pretty much what happened was he he went to this place, tried to call, and went online to order because he had to go online to order. So the online order had two different links apparently. So there was a link that was unauthorized,
mm-hmm,
but it was on the site. I think it was on the site, if I'm not mistaken. So there was two different links apparently. One was the official link, but for some reason he had the unofficial link, which was on this website. I believe it was on Grubhub or something like that. Uh,
all right,
when he ordered the food, they said that the when he tried to order it, they said the place was closed
mm-hmm,
through this unauthorized link. So he called the place up and to pick up. So he still placed the order, I guess, to pick up the next day because it was still available. You could still place orders for the next day. So I guess he purchased it, and went to the place and tried to maybe I'm looking up to see if I can find the actual story right here. All right, here we go. All right, so I found it on Instagram. I'm gonna clean it up so I don't have to mention any names. All right.
All right.
So it said, so he said in this statement that he made, or this was a statement that the other people made, that the business made. So this was the statement that the business made. Uh, okay, so this is the statement that the business made. So he said, we'd like to address the unfortunate situation we had with Chime. So what happened was he attempted to place an order online that was directed to a site which had a DoorDash storefront set up on it. So pretty much it was probably a bogus site, like a
Right.
scam site. Because like if you go online now, there's a lot of scamming sites that look like what you're
Yeah.
getting on, but it's not really it. That's why you don't really click the first link that you see on, when you go on these search engines and stuff like that now. Because sometimes these scammers will do that. So what happened was it was a DoorDash front setup like with this link without the store's permission, so it was unauthorized, and it showed the stores being closed. But it said that you were able to schedule a pickup for the next day. You know,
Mm-hmm.
um, so when Chime called this store, this restaurant, to explain, one of the staff members checked their official DoorDash tablet and said, "No, our order systems are working fine. I don't know what you're talking about." You know, and then showed him that everything was working. I don't know what you're talking about. Everything's working fine. And did not take his order over the phone. So he said, "Okay, cool. Can you just take my order over the phone?" So the store said, "No, we don't do over the phone orders because it's restaurant policy. And the reason why is because apparently, let's be real, like I said, these places like to, that they go to these black establishments, and most of these black establishments are set up brick and mortar in predominantly black neighborhoods, you know. But
Mm-hmm.
let's be real, this has nothing to do with that. But when you deal with certain things or certain environments, when you're in certain environments, you know, let's be real. We've seen this in people ordering food and not picking them up.
Yeah.
You know, so what happens is they didn't do this particular restaurant did not do phone orders because there was numerous people beforehand that would place orders, big orders, numerous orders, you know, and never come to pick them up. And that's lost money on the restaurant because that's food that they have to give away or throw out.
Mm-hmm.
So I understand that policy. And Chime did too. You could always check this out. So what happened was they immediately took steps. The restaurant said they immediately took steps to take that bogus link down. But what Chime came up and said that's somewhat true, but not all. So what he said was, and he said that he called. First, said he put up the link. He went up there, found about the bogus link, said that they were closed. Called up, and he said he called multiple times. He said the first time he called and they hung up on him, or they didn't answer. So he had to call about a few times to get the answer. And then when he did, there was somebody on the end that was like uh, very curt in their vocab,
Okay.
almost like almost like, nah, it's working fine. I don't know what you're talking about. And then hung up on him. And he's like, okay, well, can I place my order online? So he calls back again and then says, all right, well, can I talk? So, can I order online or can I do an order over the phone? And they said, no, no, order's not. We can't do that. Our policy is so and so and so and so. So he's trying to tell them about this link, but at first they didn't believe him about the link. That's where
Mm-hmm.
we're at right now. So at first they didn't believe him about the link. They thought that he was lying. Now what happened was he sent a letter, he sent an email to the owner. And then once the owner realized who he was, the owner calls an emergency meeting in that restaurant. Calls an emergency meeting as soon as the owner got the email. As soon as the owner gets the email, calls for an emergency meeting. I think they knew what was about to happen. And that and after that they refund his money, and he said he didn't receive a refund until after they figured out who he was, and then they decided they wanted to give him a refund. So then he went back the next day. He went to the restaurant to talk about this, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and some of them were still. And he recorded it. He had it all on record. He recorded the conversations, and it was still like a lack of accountability that I got from this. So this is all my opinion right now. I saw a lack of accountability on the restaurant. I saw a lack of accountability on the restaurant. Uh, and when you use vernacular in your restaurant name, so when you use certain vernacular in your restaurant name that indicates something not good, that indicates drug use or drug selling
Mm-hmm.
or something that's inappropriate, that seeps into the fabric of how you're going to do business. Like I said, I'm not going to say the name of the restaurant, but the vernacular of the restaurant, it was a play on words that had something to do with drug selling.
Mm-hmm.
That has something to do, with drug selling. And like I said, even and my issue is this is not the first time, and we're not even talking about this individual establishment here. We've been in establishments all over. I have countless, and this seems to be an ongoing issue with 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 restaurateurs who aren't ready to be restaurateurs. Now, this is like they said. This is not a black white thing. So this is more of this is more of a restaurateur who's not ready to be a restaurateur.
Mm-hmm.
How many restaurants have we been to, or I've been to? I've been to plenty, and you could see how their business model is failing from the lack of customer service, the lack of detail, the lack of attention,
Yeah.
the lack of the inconsistency in menus, things missing. You know, we're in 2024, man. There's no way that you can't hire an IT person now. If you don't understand technology, that's fine. You can hire an IT person now that can handle all of that. And to not have either to not have it or to have your online ordering things just completely flawed. Just don't have it at all.
Yeah.
And like I said, I'm not going to give names to any of these restaurants, because there's it's actually not a lot. There's actually not a lot of them, but
No.
they're they're a small percentage that speaks very loudly.
That's loud. Yeah. A loud minority.
Yeah, yeah, yep,
Yep.
very loud. And like I said, like what are your thoughts on this? Like, what are your thoughts on like that
I mean
whole?
that. I mean,
on that whole thing. Even with Keith Lee.
yeah,
So let's
yeah,
even with Keith Lee when
like,
he was in the
yeah,
restaurants, and this is all public right now, so we can talk
yeah,
about this. Even when he was down in Atlanta
yeah,
and the restaurants,
yeah.
and once they realized who he was, or
Once they
because
real,
they knew who he
yep.
was, or until they realized who he was, then they wanted to
And the crazy thing
give him
about it,
all-star treatment.
after that incident in Atlanta with the restaurants, there's a lot of people who from Atlanta that came out and said, "Yo, the restaurant quality in Atlanta is atrocious, like with all their rules and everything like that." And these are your and the crazy thing about it is, listen, celebrities influence aren't your target market. Your target market is your locals, is your regular average
Hmm.
person. The person that is a no name, the person that you look at and go, who the F are you? Right? Those are the people that's going to keep your business running. And if you're going to be a restaurant owner, especially if you're going to be a small restaurant owner, every customer is a celebrity. You treat them like they are the celebrity.
Yeah. Yep, the customer is the celebrity. And another thing, especially with a lot of these establishments, is like I said, stop using stop using inappropriate slang to name your business. It
Yes.
sounds cool, but it's not like
You
like I said, the place in Michigan. So the place up there in Michigan, um, not going to say the name of it, but the meaning of the restaurant, the first word in the meaning of it was the act of selling drugs.
Yep.
Or refers to the act of moving drugs from one town to another. You see what I'm saying?
It's it
It represents, so it
yeah.
also represents an abandoned building or
Yeah.
home where drugs are usually sold or sometimes manufactured.
Mm-hmm.
Like why? Why would you name
Why instill that into your
why
business?
would you instill that into your business? And then, like I said, and then you wonder, and then that brings a whole different type of person to your establishment,
Mm-hmm.
like your customer base. And this is why you have a customer base, and then you have a customer base to where you got to have a no phone order policy,
Yeah.
because when they see that name, because when the like I said, crap names will attract crap people.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? Low life bars and low life strip clubs attract low life people.
Mm-hmm.
So when you have a low life name as your establishment, your restaurant, or your business in general, you're going to attract low life people
Mm-hmm.
to where you have to have a no. You got
A,
to have
a
these
policy.
these protective policies in place to keep from slick people, to keep
Yep.
from people trying to scam you.
You're inviting
And
crap
not saying, and not,
influencers.
yeah,
Like I'm saying, you're inviting, like you said, inviting crap influencers to eat free at your place will attract those people that follow that influencer. Like
yeah,
it's that same content. Like I said, I'm not dropping any names, but if you know, you know, because I see it. You know, I see
yeah,
it, and
yeah,
I
yeah,
mean, literally, it's like you said, it's a what I it's basically an equivalent exchange. That's exactly what it is. Equivalent exchange. What you throw out is what you're going to receive.
yeah. No, absolutely. And we see a lot of inconsistency.
Yep. And I think
There's a
and
lot of
like I
inconsistency.
said, the major issue when it comes down to calling out the behavior of this is the fact that you got people that support this behavior and they want to do that whataboutism, and it's like it's not about the what about. It's about, yo, this is what you're doing and it's wrong and you need to cut it. Which kind of segue into our next
Oh yeah,
thing,
yeah. Segue, but like I said, shout out to
yeah,
Mr. Time and Keith Lee. You're
and
doing
Keith Lee.
excellent work. We enjoy your content,
Yes.
and all the other ones out there that's doing a real good job. I know there's a couple of them I can't remember the names right off the top, but uh, if you're doing good work, and I follow your content. Anybody that's doing real good stuff, I've always followed their
Oh
content. The
yeah,
ones that's not, the ones that aren't doing very good content and lazy content, give it up. Get a regular job, and I always unfollow, even if it's on my
oh yeah.
for you, if it's on my FYP, or even if it's just in my timeline. If it's bad
Hmm.
content and it's lazy content, I get it off ASAP.
Yeah.
But
I'm
Chime and
gonna
Keith Lee,
yeah.
great job.
I'm gonna add this in, and we're gonna talk more about it near the end of the segment, though. But gonna add this: if you don't like a content creator or something on social media that you don't like, do not interact with it because
Yeah,
the thing about social media is any engagement is good engagement to whoever's posting it. If you don't
yep.
like the person, if you don't like what they're doing, or if you don't like what they're saying or posting or whatever, there's no point in you arguing with them because there's going to be a group of people that's going to fight for them, and it's going to
Well, it's the
stress
bee.
you. Yeah,
It's a beehive
it's
effect.
a
It's a
beehive
beehive.
effect. It is going to make your life a lot stressful. What you have to do is you have to pretend that they do not exist. Block. Use that block button. If
Unfollow,
they come,
right?
if you unfollow and you block, when you block, you don't get nothing from them.
Yep.
You get nothing from them. They don't even come up on your For You page. They don't come up on a random thing. Listen, and I'm going to say this because, like I said, I blocked the Shade Room because I don't like their content. I
Yep.
don't like their content. I blocked them. So anytime somebody try to send me something that has their stuff on it, I don't see it because I blocked them, and I blocked them on all social media platforms, even platforms I don't even go on. TikTok, Twitter or X, you can call it now, Facebook, Instagram. You can block them on YouTube. I do not, like I said, if I don't like the content, if I don't like what you're pushing at me, if I don't, like I said, it's not even on the lines of what I agree with, but it's mostly if I really don't like what you're pushing, I will block you, and then there is no way I'm going to see your stuff.
Yeah.
Out of sight, out of mind. You don't exist to me. But we're going to get into that into certain content near the end of the show. But right now, we're going to move into um something that divided the black community of not just TikTok, but social media entirely.
That's social media in general.
This
Yep.
past fall in 2023. Now, if you didn't hear about it, back in the fall of 2023, or the beginning, well, you could say like in the summer, beginning of fall, you could say around that time. There was a woman who allegedly, I'm gonna say allegedly right now, uh, a man was asking for her number. She rejected him. And allegedly the guy basically was like got irated and hit her with a brick. And basically um created an uproar because she got up, swollen face and all, and claimed that there was a bunch of black men that was around that didn't do anything while she got hit with the brick. And that created a dividing rift for the social media of black people in social media. It really created that rift between single black women to single black men to married black women to married black men. It created a hellstorm of a war, of a gender war. Now, recently, this past January, uh, she basically so recently she basically turned around, and she got arrested, so to say, for fraud because she basically lied about being hit with the brick, and she took money from people, um on, what was that, GoFundMe. I think over a little over $40,000. And basically, it's not the first time she done this. And because of her lie, that, you know, now she did get hit. Now here's the thing: she did get hit, but she didn't get hit with a brick. She got hit with a water bottle during an altercation that she provoked. She was the aggressor. Yes, within the article, she was the aggressor. She um she hit the guy first, and the guy retaliated by hitting her with a water bottle. And I will say this, like I said, and basically, she got online and basically told the whole world that she got hit with a brick and nobody did anything. But now it found out that she lied, she fabricated. It wasn't in the police report or anything like that. And basically, well, she got hit. Like I said, she got arrested for it. Now I
Oh,
think
wow.
she did get bailed out. So she did get bailed out from that. But I think she do is waiting. I think they're waiting on a court date for that to see, you know, to see the judgment of that. But here's the thing that gets me. There are some people that are more angry that there were people that didn't like her, or they just hate, like I'm to call it, they either don't like her or they just hate black women. They're more angry at people that hate them, that they were right, that she lied, than her using black women trauma to get over on people. And that's where I went on a pretty much I blocked a lot of people. A lot of people I used to follow because, you know, listen, they spit some good, there's some really knowledgeable stuff. But when this thing came out that this woman lied, they were so headstrong with the cause of believing. And it's like, it's okay to believe somebody at face value. That's, listen, it's real out there. Black women trauma, what black women go through is real.
Hmm.
Black women gets kidnapped more than any other woman in this world. That is a fact. Black women is the least desirable woman in the face of the world. That is a fact. So when a black woman does come out, it's not going to stop me from believing her, because stuff like that happens. But when you got people like this woman who lied about being hit by a brick and black men not doing anything about it, you should be more mad at her using a black woman's trauma to get over on people. It's not about, oh, well, now the men that didn't like her, the men that hates black women, the black men that hates black women, they're going to use that to weaponize you. They're people that hate you is going to weaponize whatever they have anyway, because they don't like you.
Hmm.
But you should not disregard what a woman of your caliber that looks like you using your trauma to get over on you. It hurts the actual cause itself. And I was so disappointed in some creators who came out there and just said, "Oh well, you know, just remember you might have won this one." What do you mean win? What is a
Yeah,
pissing
there is
contest?
no there is no win.
There is no
No,
win.
no, 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 nobody wins in this
Nobody
situation.
win. I didn't like. I didn't look. I was hope like I said. I'm not hoping for anything, but it's like when she came out. Listen, I'm gonna believe you in face value. Now, it's okay to question, especially when you get down to litigation, or if you're asking for people for money, or if you're demonizing a whole entire group. Yes, I'm going to question. But I'm not saying I don't believe you. I'm not saying it didn't happen. I'm like I said, anybody who questioned her wasn't hating on her. It was legit. Like when she got on the video and her face was swollen, people was questioning, did you get hit by a brick? Because a brick is a very coarse surface. It's not smooth. It's a coarse object. And if a coarse object rubs against your skin, you're going to have lacerations. You're going to have some sort of cuts and bruises. And
Yeah.
when she played the video, she didn't look like she had cuts or bruises. It's just her face was swollen. So that's why people was questioning it. And anybody who questioned it, they got ridiculed by
I
saying
mean,
leave.
yeah,
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 and
that's
that's
the whole
and that,
climate
and that,
today
and that,
for anything,
yeah,
for anything.
that's for anything. Now, like I said, there are a few creators out there that was 100% on this woman's side, and when they found out, they came on a platform and said, "Listen, I apologize. I overstepped. I went over and beyond. I apologize. This doesn't stop me from not believing in another person that comes out on this." I was like, that's the type of approach that you should have. I'm not saying don't believe, but when something like that happens, you shouldn't be mad. You shouldn't be more mad at the what ifs.
Hmm.
You should be more mad at the person that is using your trauma and other people's trauma to get over on other people. It's the same as the woman that claimed that she was kidnapped. A black woman that was kidnapped, but she didn't. She wasn't. She lied because she was mad at her boyfriend.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
when
yeah,
people
yeah.
questioned it, again, they got ridiculed, they got attacked. And like I said, I always say this, and I started actually I'm not saying I always say this. I just started realizing this when it comes down to telling the truth, telling facts, telling the truth. It all brings down to the intentions of you telling this truth. Is your intention of telling the truth to educate people or to better yourself? Or is your intention of telling the truth to hurt people? And I think a lot of people online, especially when you pick a side, whether you're pro black woman or you're pro black man or pro white person, pro whatever, if you're picking a side and you're telling a truth, more than likely you're telling the truth to hurt people, not to better. And that's what us as viewers have to look out for. You have to be on point with how is this person telling the truth. If the if the facts are coming out and then you're trying to find other loopholes to try to
Like I
justify,
said, it might be like you said. Either way,
yeah.
it might be the truth, or what's the intention?
But what's the intention behind it? What's the intention behind it? And that's like I
Right.
said, like that's what happened with the what are your thoughts on the situation
So
with
here's the thing.
the
So she's been.
yeah.
So I honestly, I really wasn't following. I really
Yeah.
wasn't following this as in depth as you were, but I did look up, and she has been charged with felony theft by deception.
Okay.
So my question here is between that and also there has to be level ground that plays throughout the entire board.
Mhm.
And what I mean by that, I mean by women, and we hear the stories. We know we've seen the horror stories that falsely accuse men, that men have gone to jail or gotten hung or lynched. They have to have that same consequence as well. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I hear you. I hear you.
Felony. It might not be felony theft by deception. See, she got the felony theft because she raised tens of thousands of dollars on a GoFundMe.
Mm-hmm.
That's why she got felony theft by deception. But this should be felony theft or felony by deception or lies, if you will, for how
Mm-hmm.
many uh, black men even in the past, that got lied on for some sort of assault on a woman because of an because they just got mad
Yeah.
and lied, and there's men out there that lost a lot.
Yeah.
Some some lost their lives. Some black men got lynched behind
Behind
white
yeah.
women lying.
Lying. and then you're seeing
And
some of
what I'm
this.
saying,
Yeah,
what I'm saying is, we see this, and this is unfortunate, and this is unfortunate. We don't want to see this. There's one thing I don't want to see, and I can speak for unqualified too on this. We don't want to see any of this. None of this is ideal. None of it. None of this is ideal. I don't like to read stories about this. About anybody that's black, that's white, that's whoever. I don't like to read stories about this. None of this is ideal.
no,
None of it's ideal. But when you look at the consequences compared to black people to other races, it is completely unequal.
hmm
Now, like I said, you do the crime, you do the time. But that has to be played throughout the entire board.
yep,
And that's what I can say about this. Like I said, I wasn't as
yeah,
deeply invested in that story as much as you, but because
yeah,
you covered a good deal of it.
yeah. I
But
covered.
that's all
Yeah,
I had to say. Yeah,
like I
that's all
said,
I had to speak on it. Yeah.
I think overall, I'm mostly just disappointed. And every time I see it's one of those things where it's like if it was a white woman that done it, it wouldn't surprise me. I'll be mad, but it wouldn't surprise me, right? But when I see another woman of color, um, black woman, in regards to where she's from, whether she's African or whatever like that, it just hits differently because it's like you should know better. You should know better as a black woman, as society wise, you should know better to use that type of trauma to get ahead on something. Like, come on now. You should know better than that.
But that's a black person in general.
Yeah.
As a black individual,
Yeah.
that
Like, come on now.
understands the extreme uphill battle that we constantly face on a
It
daily basis.
constantly faces. I mean, listen, you got black women getting kidnapped on a daily basis. Daily basis.
Black
No,
men
no
kidnapped on a daily basis.
black men get black children get
Yeah,
to the
yeah,
no news coverage. Nothing.
yeah.
Nothing. Silence. This this woman gets
Yep.
claims she gets kidnapped and then she lies about it.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I mean that's
It's
fine, but
like,
you know what
yeah,
I mean.
no, but I mean
That's not fine. That's
it's
not
still,
fine. But another thing is, I want to say is like, so let's stop in general. I'm speaking in general
yeah,
here. Just to the general population. Let's not fall for this war. Let's not fall
yeah,
for this gender war.
yeah.
Let's leave. Let's not fall for the gender wars, people.
And I think this really,
Recognize
yeah,
debating. Recognize debating. And I think what happened was, this was a story
yeah,
that's just a regular story. Like I said, this story right here happens multiple times. She's just the one that got
it got
nation
publicized.
national publication,
Yeah.
national media. She got national media recognition. But this particular case is very similar. There's thousands, hundreds of cases, I would
Mm-hmm.
say. I would think hundreds of cases that happen like this
All over.
all over,
Yeah.
all over. But the reason why is because the media plays a big role in this. They have a big role in trying to create this war between black men and black women, and we have to recognize it when they're trying to do it,
When they're
and we
trying.
have to put an end to it.
Yep.
We have to cut the head off of the snake. You have to cut the head
Yeah.
off the snake. We
And
have to realize this because right now, as a whole, we're falling for it.
we're falling for it. We're as a whole, we are falling for it on a daily basis online, which kind of segues into our last segment of lazy toxic
Content creator, yeah.
content creation, and also I'm going into lazy watching because again, this is the reason why we get caught up into this mess,
Hmm.
into these baiting,
Yeah, these baiting wars, yeah.
these baiting wars because it's lazy content, and also us being lazy watchers. Just like
Right.
how kind of ringing it around here. Just like earlier when we mentioned when we mentioned the Peanuts Franklin, with
Yep.
the
Yep.
Thanksgiving thing, this is part
Hmm.
of the lazy content when you have people who just, oh, this seems like a hot take. This seems something. Put it out there and says Yep. See, there was races there, and then you got people who goes, "Oh yeah, I remember that. Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Oh yeah." I can't tell you how many times I get sent like cartoons from other people
Mhm.
who wants my insight and wants my thing, and I have to go in there and explain, like, look, this is not how you think it is.
Mhm.
Like for like one of the prime examples, and I say go on Tubi. It's a movie called Stepmother. Now there's has been a clip flying around, and multiple lazy, and I spell like it, multiple lazy content creators will go
Mhm.
on that platform, not watch the movie, but just take that one clip from the sequel
Mhm.
where the main character or the character for the stepmother, she's in a psych ward and she strangles a security guard, and basically at one scene the security guard was like, just a regular grown man, and then it changed to a light skinned guy with dreads. And these lazy content creators don't give you no context. They don't give you what movie it is. They just go, look what I found on Tubi. Watch this. And then they go ahead and they play the scene out and they go, who is that? Who is that? And then you get a bunch of people, lazy watchers, who don't want to do no research. They only have they got an attention span of a goddamn peanut. And they turn sorry, I'm going on my little rant here, but it's just like they go in there and they go in the comment section and they just type away. They go in and say, "Oh, to be done it again," and how can they miss something like this? What kind of crap is this? And you're sitting there, and I'm like, y'all did not watch the movie, and yet y'all talking about it. Y'all never watched the movie. Y'all got to know the context behind the movie. At the bare minimum, at least say what movie it is so people can go back and watch it so they can then create their own opinion. But see, because you have lazy content creators who are just constantly, which by the way, TikTok is about to create another. TikTok is going to go into another shift, because you did realize this is like, I'm going a little bit off topic here, but TikTok just didn't make an agreement with a huge I think like music resource or something like that.
Mhm.
And basically a lot of the hip hop current music that's being used in a lot of TikTok videos is no longer there, and they're muting it.
Mm.
So if you're trying to get into TikTok and you are a creative person and you don't need current music to boost your videos, this is your time to shine. But anyway, getting back to
Mhm.
getting back on track with the lazy content and lazy watchers. It's like I said, these lazy content creators, and I see it all the time. Um, I'm not, like I said, I'm not name dropping, but when you see it, you know. And I feel that there's a lot of people who don't realize it until somebody says it.
Yeah.
Right? So, for example, there's this one creator where he has, and I see about four different creators that does this. They have they have like a hard hat, and they show clips.
Oh yeah, yeah.
They show clips of
On site,
on
like
on on site,
on
yeah,
site accidents,
on
pretty
site
much
accidents and stuff like that.
mishaps,
Yeah,
mishaps.
mishaps. Yeah, and the thing about it is, it's not their content. They don't credit anybody. They just, all they do is just sit there and look at the camera. They shift their eyes left and right as if they're looking, and it's
Or
like,
the one guy, yeah, or the one
yeah,
guy dressed up as a chef,
yeah. Or the
puts a
one
chef hat,
guy,
and
yeah,
he does restaurant like in back of the house
yeah,
mishaps.
back
Back
to,
of house,
yeah.
back of the house mishaps.
Back,
Yeah.
they bring nothing to the table. They don't no commentary, no anything. And it's like, these people get thousands upon views, and that's because you have lazy watchers who don't want to do the work. And it's like, if you and it's one of those things where if you don't experience people stealing your stuff, right, you're never going to know how it feels. But that's literally what it is. It's people is so lazy to the point where
Mhm.
these content creators can steal somebody's stuff right in front of them, post it up, and when you get one person that calls them out for stealing that content, you got a bunch of seagulls that attacks the person and says, "Hey, it's not that serious. Why are you being so serious? If you don't like it, just keep swiping." And it's like, no, that's bullshit.
Yep.
All right. That person stole the content. It's not cool. It's not funny. And this man is just these people are just running away with buttloads of money when you have people who work hard on their content and get no shares, no likes, no anything.
Yeah, they get nothing.
They get nothing.
You
Nothing
get
at all.
nothing.
You'll get nothing.
Nothing. And you get nothing.
And you sit there, you gotta ask yourself, like, you can sit there and go, well, unqualified. You probably mad because nobody ain't sharing your stuff. And you know what? I'm gonna say it like it is. I am a little bit sour about that. Maybe a little bit. All right? There's nothing wrong with that because I put effort in what I do. I put effort in what I do, but I am grateful with the follower that I have. I'm grateful for what I do, and I have that integrity because I cannot phantom myself to stealing somebody's content and not giving them credit, not giving them a shout out, not giving them something.
Yep.
My conscience won't allow me to do that.
Yep. Well, like you said, I am not a content creator. I don't think I'm that creative enough to even want to do it, nor would I care about it. Because I really don't, honestly, I honestly don't care if anybody watches my stuff or not.
Yeah, I mean, it's not.
But
but here's the thing: it's
no,
not.
no, no,
Yeah,
no, I know,
but-
I know, I'm speaking for me. I'm not.
Yeah, you're speaking for you. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm not a content creator. I'm just letting the people know out there that I'm not a content creator at all. Unqualified gamer is a
I'm
content creator.
up and coming.
Yeah.
I'm up and coming content creator, and it's like,
Yeah.
like it's not like nobody's not watching my stuff. I have people watching my stuff. But
the people that you have on there. But what you're saying is, like I said, you have a genuine fan base.
Yes.
That watches your stuff and can watch your stuff and can actually talk about your stuff.
And can actually
Whereas there's a lot of people out here, it's actually fake. A lot of people out here either buy their viewers because you can do that. It's noted.
You can.
It's noted out here, and like I said, they're just getting lazy. I was on Reddit the other day and got on a rant message board, and I actually asked that question. I was like, "Yo, are social media content creators getting boring and lazy?" And then somebody said, "Yeah, well, most content that gets recommended to me nowadays on social media is just recordings from live streams where they either browse certain things, or watch some shitty clips or memes, or answering questions from their chat. It's either unedited and uncut, so it's lazy. So it's not edited.
It's not
They
edited.
do it all in one take, and it's uncut. See, we here at Absolute Zero, that's been our MO from the day we started things. Our whole thing was supposed to be unedited and uncut because we wanted to give you exactly on the cuff takes and opinions and things on what we're talking about.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? That's been our model. You see what I'm saying? That's what you see on social media is just flat out laziness.
Yeah.
That's not them being on the cuff and things like that.
No, that's being out because and like you said, it's one thing to just stare at a camera and not do anything, but at least that's your content. That's what you do. If you're not, even like I said, I don't mind. Like I said, there's lazy content, but I don't mind. Like, for example, and the crazy thing that because I've been watching this guy, and I'm a name drop because I highly recommend watching his videos because he does a great job at social media parodies. Like he parodies social media content, and what I mean by that is he takes stuff that you see throughout social media, makes a parody of it, and shows you how stupid and how easy it is and how gullible these watchers can be when they sit there. Now, this guy is called
Well, yeah,
go ahead.
go ahead.
And this guy, he's on YouTube. He has a TikTok, but normally, he normally sticks on YouTube. He go by the name of Scumbag Daddy, or Scumbag Dad, and he kind of, like I said, by watching his content, he kind of opened my eyes to a lot of things, how social media is being run, and how he kind of opened my eyes to this, like to way how the way how these content creators are just lazy, and and basically
and to the people, Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Okay, like I said, to the people talking about how the algorithm works, I think even though it's the algorithm, they'll still find a way to put that stuff on your timeline. They can control all of that. They can control that because pretty much it's brainless content right now. It's a lot of brainless content, and I'm gonna use this. After I finish reading this thing, I'm gonna because this was all in the rant chat that I was in.
All right.
So, but then I'm gonna give a good example of one that was really good, and somebody in the content creator lazy dropped the ball on one thing. So it's brainless content that it's brainless content that's real popular right now for some reason. For some reason, it's content that's really popular. But social media in itself has a lot more to offer. The experience is tailored to what they think you will like, the algorithm, right? But they've built an accurate profile on your likes and dislikes. You see what I'm saying? So that means you're going to have to bend the algorithm back in the right direction for you. Manually search for and watch through good content while actively avoiding lazy content. Because they're going to, regardless of what the action, if you pretty much, if you don't watch lazy content will still find its way on because that's social media.
Yep.
Because they want you to watch it. So they'll still filter it in. They won't filter it in as much because the algorithm, but they'll still find a way to filter it in.
Oh yeah.
And depending on the method you're using to browse, there's often a way to select the recommendation and tell social media not to recommend content like this. There's a level of discipline that you'll need to have because social media really wants to drive off the algorithm cliff. They really want they want to drive you off the algorithm cliff.
Well, that's why they make it hard for you to dislike something. If you notice,
as soon as you have a moment of weakness and hover over your mouse out of curiosity over that shitty compilation video.
Yep.
And that's and then you got people that tell, well, then watch something else. It's like you completely missed the point.
You completely missed the point.
It's not watching, you can watch something else, but it's still going to find its way on there.
Because I don't search for lazy content. I don't
That's
search
what I'm saying.
Here's the thing. The crazy thing when people sit there and say that, well, you're complaining about this. Why don't you go watch something else? Why don't you go type it in? Thing about it is, if the algorithm was working in my favor, trust me, none of that shit will be going on my screen.
Yeah.
A lot of things that I search for is very, like I said, it turns the mind, right?
Yeah.
That's what I look for. Matter of fact, when I first started TikTok, it asked me, what do I like? What the kind of content do I like? And you know what I did? I said tech, video games, animation.
Yeah.
For the first 2 weeks of TikTok, that's all it gave me was tech, animation, video games. Next thing you know, and then it was just some random. It's probably some random woman who's probably around 21 years old, looking at the camera, puffed out lips, not even like mouth lipping a song, but on the caption it says, "But I still want him," and it just loops. And it's like, where do I want this? And it's crazy because like it's only 3 seconds long, because it's not
Mhm.
even enough. It's not even enough time for you to go, whoop, that's not what I like. Let me switch off of this. No, it's legit. And in order for you on TikTok to say I don't like this video, you have to do extra work. There is no
Mhm.
simple button on the face that says I don't like this video, dislike,
Mhm.
don't
Yeah.
recommend. There's like no. What you have to do is you have to go in. You have to go into the options. You have to go into more. You have to go into like where it says share, and then you have to go into do not
Yeah.
recommend. And then it will ask you,
Not
well,
like I
why
said,
don't you
Reddit
recommend it?
has an upvote or downvote button.
Yeah,
So, but it's not like that.
but it's
Or on
not
the
like
major
that. You
on the
know,
major platforms, it's not
yeah.
like that.
YouTube has a dislike button, but they don't
Yeah.
show you the dislike of the video.
Yeah.
They don't show you the dislike of a video anymore.
No, not anymore.
Not anymore. You have to use an add-on in order to add on from your browser in order to actually see the dislike and like ratio. Because that was the way, like I said, that was the way beforehand to monitor like what is good and what is shit. Because if you see a video and that Joe has a strong dislike, we ain't clicking
Hmm.
on it. No matter how good
Yeah.
that thumbnail look.
Yep.
Now there is not there isn't that. So you sit there and you watch it. And then even if you watch 10 seconds of that, they say, "Ooh, you like this. We're gonna recommend you more." Because you clicked on it. And with TikTok with
Yeah.
these videos, like I said, you just gotta know how the like basically how the algorithm work. You got a 10-second clip or a 15-second clip or a 20-second clip of somebody doing some mundane BS by using somebody else's song,
Hmm.
lip syncing, not doing much. Like it's not even a good lip sync either. It's just you just whispering a note and then you look at the camera and and it's like, damn it, like, so now, I already swiped, but I already watched 3 seconds of the 10-second video. It's gonna recommend me that kind of crap again.
Yep.
It's gonna recommend me
Uh,
that crap
yeah.
again.
Yep. And can we make this? This is for the record. Can we stop with the fake mall interviews
Oh
asking
my
stupid questions? So
god, that's
let's
the
get into that. No,
worst.
no, because we saw I
Yeah,
shared one with you that was very, and the guy completely dropped the ball. He had
he
one of the most interesting people
yes.
with the answer that he with the response that he gave. So again, they do the lazy, stupid content creating where they're in a mall and they ask people stupid questions. I can't even remember what this one individual was going to ask. I can't remember what the guy was going to ask the interviewer or the guest that he just popped into the mall question, but somebody walked right in the middle of their recording,
Mm-hmm.
and then the guy, the host, said, "Can you believe that? I can't believe he just believe that he just walked right through us recording like that, man. That's kind of rude, don't you think?" And then the other guy, the person that's being interviewed, responded, it's not intentional. It's not intentional. Everybody's in their own world and in their own little bubble that they pay no attention to what's going on around them because they're in their own little fantasy world. To keep from reality, to escape from their reality. If we paid a little bit more attention and been more self-aware around our surroundings, then maybe we would be kinder to each other and we would be more recognized or would recognize how we affect other people by the things that we do. In general, that's what I gave. That's a
Yeah.
general, synopsis of what he said. Yeah, I can't remember what he said verbatim.
Yeah. Well,
And
like,
the guy, and
yeah.
then the guy who's doing the host turns around and says, "Oh wow, man, that was deep." And then the other guy, then he responded. Then he responded back, "Well, no, it's not as deep as you. It's not as deep as you think it is. It's as deep as you want it to be. Deep people perceive and live through deep things.
Mm-hmm.
If you're shallow, if you think shallow, you're going to be shallow. If you perceive things shallow, you're going to be shallow. If your mentality is shallow, you're going to be shallow. But if your mentality is deep and introspective and things like that, then yes, you're going to have a better understanding of what's going on there. And instead of prolonging and adding on to that as the host. He turns around and says, "Are you AI?"
Yeah.
Like, oh my god, bro! I was
And
like,
drop the ball.
drop the ball. I instantly, I wanted to flag the thing. I
But it wouldn't
wanted to
allow. It
flag
wouldn't
it.
allow you. It wouldn't allow you. Well, see,
Yeah,
here's the thing. Here's the thing. I wouldn't have flagged that video.
not because no, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. I'm joking. I'm joking
Yeah.
when I said not flagging because of what the guy
Yeah.
said.
Yeah. It just the host itself. Like
Yeah,
that was the only video out of all his videos that I will watch because of the person that he was trying or thought that he was going to get over on the interview. But the host itself was a flipping idiot, a
yeah,
numbskull, you know, and that's how the majority of this lazy content world that
it's
we live
lazy.
in now, just
Hmm.
super lazy, you know.
Yep. And like I said, I I I try to avoid that. Like when you see these people that's trying to like you get another ball. I'm not even going to mention his name.
No, no, you don't have to. You
Uh,
know,
I'm not going to. I could
yeah.
remember their names anyway. I could remember their names anyway. But there's another one that comes around. He drives around as a fake news reporter. You know,
Oh, that
so
man.
turns around as a fake news reporter, and he's supposed to be giving the news of what's going on in the streets, but he's not doing anything. He's
Not
just asking. He's asking random people questions, more so
to make them look like a
on
fool.
yeah, to make him look like a fool or to embarrass him or like a rib or something like that. Asking questions like it's a rib. Like you
Yeah.
already know what they're going to say, or you're just trying to get their
I'm
reaction,
trying to
or
get their
or
reaction. And see, like
or
I said,
or
that's
or, 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 or their answer, or how they answer the question.
yeah.
You know, but it's not real stuff. Like
No.
he turned around and ran into another real reporter and tried to
Get a rise out of
barge it,
him.
yeah, get a rise out of him, and it obviously it didn't work because
Shut
you're
it
dealing
down.
with a professional. Because when you're dealing with a
Yep.
professional, instantly shut it down. But lazy content,
Yep. And how do you
lazy.
shut it down? You don't interact with them.
Well, you just don't interact with it.
You don't interact with them. Because
Yeah,
that's what they want. Like these lazy content creators have no talent. They're non-talented hacks. The same with these effing podcasters out here.
oh well, there
You
you
know,
go. That's the
talented,
segue. So that's the
talentless,
perfect. Well,
talentless.
that's the
Yeah,
perfect segue.
I know.
That's the perfect segue. Whereas the podcast environment now is completely gone to
Talentless hacks, man.
shit.
They turn around.
And like I
They
said, I don't consider myself a podcaster. Neither just unqualified.
no,
We
no.
call it we call it Absolute Zero Podcast because in the beginning, when we started doing this off and on, podcasting was still very young. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
But now it seems like everybody has a podcast now, so you do get a lot of
and you get a lot of people.
miseducated,
Now,
uneducated
now here's the
bull
thing.
crap.
Well, hold on. Before you do that, here's the thing. Now, I'm not saying all people who do podcasts are bad because there are some
No, I'm
really,
not saying
really
that. No,
great,
no. Like I said, I'm not talking about. Like I
podcasters
said,
out there.
when we talk
Yeah,
about this, no, when I talk about this, I'm not
we're
talking
talking
about
about
the
the talent.
individual.
Yeah,
I'm talking
no,
about the.
yeah,
I'm talking about. We're talking
and
about.
the whole,
We're
like I said,
talking about in totality. We're
yeah,
talking about podcast, the environment.
yeah,
We're
yeah.
not talking about the
No,
individual.
no, we're
As I
not talking
said
about the
before,
individual.
I
Yeah,
never said individuals. I said the environment.
but
The
like,
podcast, just like anything else right now, the
oh yeah,
environment out here in general, the sneaker environment,
oh my god,
crap, the sneaker game. But
yo,
that's another thing. But I'm
crazy.
just saying,
Hold on.
the
Speaking of which,
environment.
hold on. Speaking of which, like, I know I'm going back a little bit, but when you mentioned the sneaker thing, something just came up on my YouTube, right? Because YouTube got shorts now, and
Yeah,
they recommended me somebody that I only saw one short from them, and I immediately blocked them because,
yeah,
like I said, just like with the sneaker thing, I'm a retro game collector. Now this guy went to this I guess this the secondhand bookstore, and his secondhand bookstore had Nintendo Power magazines, right? Now, in the video game, Nintendo Power magazine was a magazine that came out back in the day, like in the 80s into the 90s, and they would just do, it was like for Nintendo games, for reviews and games, the upcoming games, stuff like that. Now they're collectible items because they're no longer no Nintendo Power magazines anymore. Now, this shop was selling the magazines for 50 cents a pop, which that's way low the asking price for which we would have go online now to see that. What this guy did, yeah, all right. What this guy did was he went and bought all the magazines. He bought all the magazines, like the whole entire stock. I'm talking like it was like at least like a whole entire shelf. He buys it and then flips it and films himself flipping the magazines. And I said, it's fuckers like him that is
And that's what I mean.
ruining.
What I mean is the environment.
Yeah,
So it's the environment itself that's created by a small group of derelicts,
yeah,
of lowlifes.
of low
It's
lives.
controlled. It's controlled by a small thing of lowlifes, and that's the podcast. That's the podcast environment right now. Me, I don't consider myself a podcaster. I don't consider this a podcast, even though it has the word podcast in it. I don't consider myself a podcaster because number one, we don't do
Do this on
this
a regular.
consistently. We do
Yeah,
this when we feel like it because to us, this is more therapy.
exactly.
This is more therapeutic for me to actually get out and just talk about certain things that either annoyed me or made me, or things that annoyed me or things that I enjoyed,
Yeah,
pretty much, or things that interest me. You know, so I don't. I me personally, I don't consider this a podcast, but the people out here that have these so-called podcasts, and it's just it's crap. They all talk about the same stuff. It's some most like you said, the individuals that's doing a great job. I listen to podcasts all the time.
hmm,
I listen to people that do great podcasts all the time. And I have heard some individuals, which is a small group though, but I've heard some individuals that did a really shitty podcast. And
yeah,
it has zero substance, and they try to be all prophetic, what I like to call flowing in the prophetic, but actually they're actually flowing in the pathetic because it's a pathetic structure, it's a pathetic format. The information that they're talking about is highly uneducated and misinformed, highly misinformed. It's either crude, just toilet humor or toilet content, basic low vibration bullshit. But all the good stuff, all the good podcasters I listen to, and I give them a multiple thumbs up. But like I said, that's what happens when podcast is an open market. It's an open chain, you know,
yeah,
open source. Podcasting is open source. You can do this anywhere. You could do a podcast from anywhere. You could do a podcast from your phone if you wanted to right now.
yeah,
And that's the way the source is open now. So that leaves a portal, which is another thing we'll probably get into at another point in time. It opens up a portal, and it opens up the portal to a lot of people who should not have access to that portal. There's a lot of people out there that really should not have access to the things they have, especially podcasting.
yeah,
And but I'm, like you said, I'm not going to mention names because if anybody listens to this, you already know who your list of podcasters are that should not be doing this. And if our names is on it, then hey, that is what it
yeah.
is.
It is what it is. Yeah, no, it is what it is.
We're not exempt. We're not exempt from this either, even though we don't consider ourselves a podcast. But you know, if our names is on it, we're not exempt to it either. Nobody is. None of us are exempt to it. Because, like I said, none of this shit's intentional.
Hmm.
Ultimately, so it's ultimately none of it's intentional because we're all living in our little bubble. We're all in our own little world doing our own thing. and completely and unaware of our surroundings and unaware of how we affect other people with the things that we don't do unintentionally.
Yeah.
And we don't care. We have zero remorse. We have zero empathy. We have zero sympathy.
We're not
You know,
self-aware.
we're not apathetic,
Nope.
to any of it because we're all in our own little world, you know. And the more that we can be more aware of ourselves, be more aware of how we affect other people, even strangers out here, everyday things. Just be more mindful, you know. If we would just be more mindful. Like I said, is your mind full or is your mind full or is it mindful? And a lot of us are walking around with a mind full rather than being mindful.
Yeah.
And that's how I'm gonna wrap it up, man. Is there anything
Yeah.
else that you wanna mention in regards to that?
Uh, Basically, one of the best ways if you find yourself being stuck in a lazy watch cycle, the best way to break out of it is to basically do something else. You know, that's why it's great to find hobbies. Find a hobby, break out of it, because sometimes, like I said, we all get stuck into that cycle. Even I get stuck in that cycle. That's why I'm so passionate about it, because I've been stuck in that. I've been stuck for like a few hours just scrolling through TikTok, mindlessly scrolling through TikTok. You know, watch a movie. When you watch a movie, put your phone down. When you go to the movie theaters, legit, just put it in your pocket and don't think about it. Watch the movie. Enjoy your time away from social media. That's how you're going to start realizing sometimes the stuff that you're feeding yourself is nothing. No calories, no nothing. It's emptiness.
Hmm. Yeah,
So best way to break yourself out of it. That's one of the ways I
yeah,
say. You know. But yeah.
yep, yep.
But
Like I said, set your limits,
set your limits,
set your
man.
boundaries, people.
Set
Create
your
your
limits.
boundaries, set your limits. You know, like I said, it might not be for some, it might not be to abstain from it entirely, but definitely if you want to create your boundaries and set your limits.
Yeah.
And like I said, and be more mindful.
And be more mindful.
Be more mindful of how we walk around this earth and how we affect people, not just intentionally, but how we affect people unintentionally.
Unintentionally. Exactly.
All right. So, like I said, that was a really good therapy session,
Yeah.
Unqualified Gamer. And,
Likewise,
hopefully,
Shenanigan Jay. Likewise.
yeah, hopefully we'll get into we'll do another one real soon. If we
Yep.
get a chance to, we'll do another record. We might have some special guests. We might have Poor Righteous Dad
Oh
back
yeah.
on. We might have Recovering Kells back on. Who knows?
It's been a while. Yeah, it's been a while since we had recovering Kells on.
I know, I know. Yeah, it's been a while since we had Recovering Kells. We might have to get Recovering Kells back,
Yeah.
and get Poor Righteous Dad back on too.
Yeah.
Stuff like
Have
that.
him talk about some stories.
Yeah, right.
You
Yeah,
know.
have them tell some stories. With that being said, people, we're signing out. Like I said, I'm your co-host, Shenanigator J,
And
and
I'm a unqualified gamer, aka We Ramen. Don't forget to follow me on TikTok if you want the classic game of the days. That is unqualified gamer unqualified underscore gamer 215.
there you go. All right, so that signs us out. Again, like I said, be mindful out there, people. Not your mind full. All right, signing out, Unqualified Gamer. Shenanigator J, this is the Absolute Zero podcast. Peace.
Peace.